I am excited to welcome Lindsey Howard, CCC-SLP, here with us today. Lindsey, you are literally in your car in the trenches right now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
And we're excited to have you here. So thank you so much for taking the time, because I mean, I'm sure other people who are watching this who are in home health or who are in your shoes, they know the challenges that come day to day with doing what you're doing what we're doing as SLPs in all settings. But in particular, here you are in your car between sessions. And one of the challenges we know is scheduling, trying to find time to fit things in. The idea of isolation, you're by yourself right now, and most of the day you're by yourself and kind of dealing with that. And then, understanding that when you walk up to a client's house, you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know which personality you might see. Is it someone who's frustrated or someone who's inspired? Is it somebody who's motivated or somebody who's going to break down? So there are so many different challenges we have as home health therapists. So I want to point out to those that are listening that the care that we provide and the caregivers and the family members, all of us who are working together to support people with memory loss and dementia, it's not without its challenges. We are all facing those challenges, and we need to come together to learn ways to show up to support people. So we thought this would be a great time to bring you in. It's November, and in November, this is nationally known as Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. And the World Health Organization tells us that globally, roughly 50 million people are living with dementia. So this is such an important month, and this is why we wanted to bring you in so that people who are working in home health, people that are in your shoes, other SLPs can really lean on you for support and for answers because you have the expertise. So the golden question we want to ask you today is, how can we really make therapy more individualized and person-centered to improve the outcome for everybody that is working with people who have memory loss?
Absolutely. This is such a simple and complicated question and topic, and especially what I'm doing in the home. Yes, I work with folks on a daily basis that have memory loss from either strokes, dementia, Alzheimer's, brain injuries, MS, etc. The three key pieces that I wanted to share with you and our listeners today are: one, I think having a personal knowledge of who you're working with as well as the caregivers is such a key element. How do we know into meaningful activities? And then how can we empower the caregivers to provide care after we leave, after we're no longer in service, therapeutically or clinically speaking? How can we make sure that we've left that caregiver empowered and able to carry out some of the things that we've educated them on as that progression with memory loss inevitably occurs? With a person-centered approach, it's all about connecting with others, building and maintaining relationships, embracing uniqueness, and then using that as an expression of how we implement our meaningful activities, our strategies. So first, what do we know about the individual, and what do we know about the caregivers? Who's involved? Are they in a facility? Are they in a locked memory care unit? Or are they at home with people coming and going? That's something that's very important to know. Also, I think that making sure that the interview process looks super deep into hobbies, interests, routines, likes and dislikes, even down to, does this person like a washcloth or a loofah? That's something that can create such a challenge in certain areas, especially as progression occurs with memory loss and we're not able to have that communication and that give and take with our loved ones or our caregivers and the patient that they're working with. So interviewing, getting to know everyone involved, and then that sometimes leads us into finding out what is an unmet need of this individual. Maybe it's isolation and feeling lonely, which typically is going to be triggered by boredom. They're not sure how to engage in their environment. I like to encourage our families and our caregivers to not try and create something out of nothing. Engage in what's already going on in the environment. your meal planning in the home, and even in an assisted living or a locked memory care unit. Involve that patient or that resident that loves to cook but can no longer use their hands. Maybe it's someone that used to have a paper route as a young boy. Involve that person in maybe delivering the newspapers or the newsletters in the assisted living. Have them help you roll things up to deliver to other people. It doesn't have to be a newspaper that they're going to sit and read, but giving them that opportunity to be helpful in their environment and engage in an exercise or an activity that meant something to them maybe in the past is some ways that we can really involve and provide a safe, supportive environment that looks at dignity and respect for all people involved. So our residents, our patients, as well as our caregivers and our loved ones that are caring for the patient. So those are kind of my 3 key takeaways. 1, personal knowledge, get to know the situation, the people involved, find those meaningful activities based on some unmet needs that are being found in the home, and then empower our caregivers.
Wow. You nailed it. Those are amazing. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm thinking of my 98-year-old grandmother right now when you mentioned the cooking, and I was thinking about her. And I think that's one of the things I loved so much about when I listened to your course on speechtherapypd.com was that I'm not in the home health world. I'm not in a SNF. I'm not working with adults. I'm school-based, but there's so many strategies you give. There's so much information that you share that, and the takeaways today, even that can be applied to any individual that we're working with. I mean, we're working with human beings, and your
Absolutely.
underlying principles and your values and the things that you're sharing with us today are not just solely for adults in home health. It really can be generalized to all of our clients that we're working, with in a variety of different settings. So I absolutely love that. And one of the things you brought up in your course, it tugged on a heartstring. You shared beautiful case stories and some examples and case studies. And you talked about your grandmother and your grandfather, and you mentioned your grandfather as silent but vibrant. And I got very emotional when I heard that. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. I mean, that was so touching to hear that personal side of things. And just, that we're working with human beings is the bottom line. I love how you say dignity and respect, and you talk about care and compassion and really getting to know them. Throughout your course, little tidbits that stuck out to me. And, I think you talk about person-centered and meeting the person right where they're at in the present moment. That's mindfulness, right where they're at in the present moment. So it's okay, that they used to be able to do X, Y, and Z skills, and they're not doing those skills anymore. But let's see where they are right here, right now, where we can meet them to provide them the support that they need to help build their independence, to build their confidence. And there's times that we can show up and in working with our clients, and our clients are frustrated or agitated or impatient or have forgotten things. And these are common characteristics that we see with our clients that have memory loss. And mindfulness strategies can be so helpful, even when it just comes to working with the emotional side of things and the emotions that people are feeling, and just helping to calm them. Because if there are some exercises we can bring to the table, meditation exercises, just as simple as some deep breathing exercises, there's research that shows that supports our gray matter in our brain, and growing that gray matter, and gray matter is responsible for memory. So I absolutely loved hearing your course. I loved hearing those sprinklings of mindfulness. I love how you bring the compassion, the care, the awareness to the table of the people that we're working with, so that we can really support them and have the best outcomes for everybody that's involved. So. Be sure to check out Keys to Person-Centered Memory Strategies. And this episode features Lindsey Howard, the SLP, here with us today. And it's her information on her vast experience working with the geriatric and adult population across settings, and also her journey of also having family members who have struggled with memory loss. And that has, ultimately led her to the career path of home health that she's in today. So this course is truly a beautiful offering to support SLPs and SLPAs in a variety of settings. Thank you so much for the opportunity to have you here today to share those takeaways.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, to take a deeper dive into this topic, be sure to check out Keys to Person-Centered Memory Strategies on speechtherapypd.com. For other topics, be sure to subscribe to speechtherapypd.com, and you can get your 1-year subscription where you can access live and pre-recorded content and earn those ASHA CEUs while you're doing it. We will see you back next week as we answer more golden questions from our SLPs and SLPAs. We have the answers for you.